Alright guys, good morning. How are y'all doing? I'm on my way into work. Was able to snag a couple Mosaic blasters today at a Walmart because a friend of mine was holding them for me while he was there. That way I could get there in time. Retail right now has been really weird. I opened a bunch of Mosaic. I didn't do it on the channel because I feel like if I'm just opening stuff, all you do is you click on the video, you go straight to the end, you see what I pulled. But you know, I just appreciate you looking at the video. But I talk throughout the videos, so sometimes I feel like I give the same talking point information through a video sometimes that I would be if I was having a conversation with people or doing this type of a talk. But I opened a bunch of it. I did not do well. And the best card I pulled was an Anthony Edwards silver rookie auto. By far the best card I pulled. That one's probably around $60 to $70. I've seen them sell for as much as $120. But for what I paid to get in and everything I broke, I couldn't cover half of what it cost me to get into the stuff that I bought. If I sold all the cards, I wouldn't get half back. And in the past, the retail wasn't that type of a break at all. Got a dog out here running around by himself. Oops, somebody's chasing him. Okay. But this Mosaic product I also feel is going to be heavily printed. One of the things I noticed when I was looking at the hanger boxes versus the cello packs, and that was the only reason I really bought the two blaster boxes, outside of Dave being like, you should buy these, basically. He was like, you want them? I was like, no. He's like, you want them? I was like, no. I was like, you want them? I was like, okay, fine. Because sometimes Dave can give you a box of cards and there can be some fantastic stuff in them. So I'm hoping that that's the case moving forward. But I hadn't opened any blaster boxes, so I figured I'll do a couple blasters and I'm done with Mosaic Basketball. Mosaic Football is getting ready to drop. Now the difference is, in the past with Mosaic or Basketball, there's been more people to chase. And we've noticed that with this product, this newer product that's come out. I say newer product, the last year's product that's still coming out. You know, you have LaMelo, Edwards, Maxey, Bain, maybe, and you know, and Wiseman, maybe, you know what I mean? There's a bunch of you know, guys. I think LaMelo and Edwards are going to be perennial 10+ year players easily. The rest of the guys we're gonna have to see, but you don't get a really good tell on a lot of basketball players for a few years, with the exception of Zion. But you know, Zion, for instance, he comes back, has a 40-point game, all his stuff 20-30x, not 30x, but 30% up. Immediately is what will happen. Ja right now is playing fantastic. I mean, he's showing you what he is going to be. He has progressed rapidly, and how much better can he get with time and learning and knowing? I mean, because he's playing a lot based on just general skill set, and that's telling you just how impactful he can already be and has been. You know, obviously getting into the playoffs, doing well in the playoffs is a big deal. You don't expect for them to win the championship right now. I don't, at least. You know, I would see maybe up to the semis and then maybe lose. But they're a couple years away to a year away based on ads of a team that's truly a championship style team. And I really haven't seen the play for everybody around them. And, you know, everybody talks about Jaren Jackson Jr. is kind of now the forgotten man. He's like number 3 when everybody was really pumping his stuff. A lot of people were buying it and they've sold it and made lots of money, and it's been all over the place value-wise. And I don't watch a lot of basketball, but I've learned all this just from, you know, paying attention to everybody else's channels, watching some of the games, looking at the highlights and things like that. But back to Mosaic real quick. Ran off that real quick, didn't I? Football's coming out. Way more things to chase in football. All the quarterbacks, for instance. It's going to be, you can hit a base card and feel better about yourself, I guess. Because and I don't know how the Mosaic's going to be laid out, if it's going to be similar basketball to football. But basketball, you basically have 3 rookie cards of a player, kind of. So you have the debut, the base. The base has a variation. And then some of them have the USA version of the card also. Which obviously your base rookie and then your variation are going to be your 2 main ones. And then after that would probably be debut and then the USA one, or national one for that matter. Again, Football is going to be completely different. I don't know how much they printed. They're having printing issues, and they've already allocated X amount to print. And that's why they were talking about the guys last night on Neo's channel. We're talking about the paper shortage. There's a true paper shortage. That's a real deal. If you didn't watch Brian Gray on Sports Card Live on Jeremy's channel, he said, they've already secured enough paper to make all their product in 2022, and he had to pay a lot to do it. And some of these other companies are cheap. They're not willing to pay, even though they're going to make money. They want to make the same amount they were or more, and they're already making way more than they used to begin with. Because I think Steve had said, couldn't they just allocate the paper to a better product or a different product? And what Brian Gray said at that point too was they've already, even in I think Neo said it, they've already agreed to print certain things with these printers, and they can't back out. They can't say, oh, we changed our mind. There's a signed agreement that you're printing this stuff for this amount of money, and this is how that works. Because based on the type of product it is based on the price that they have to pay in order to have the product made. There are not a lot of printers that print cards, and it's not regular paper like the paper you go and print stuff at work with or copy at your house. That's not the same paper that they use for cards. It's completely different. When you deal with thicker cards and stock, and you look at those, like you get a dummy card, it looks like plastic. Like you probably ain't gonna see a whole lot of dummy cards coming out anymore because they need those to make cards. So a lot of that type of stuff is gonna be probably changing this year. If you're used to seeing a dummy card in between things, you might just see a piece of foam now, like a cut out card of foam, or something like that, because they need every single piece of that paper now in order to make the cards. And again, they were talking about getting Prism football basically around the National, and how that's going to be a very hot product. And it will be a very hot product because you're getting ready to start another season coming up. You have probably the best mid-tier product that's available to everybody, meaning retail and hobby, coming out at that time, very late after the season, when usually that used to be a December release, then it became a January release, and now I believe it's March, April, May, or something like that. It's down the line still. But we're just seeing the beginning of basketball for 2021-22, and that product should have been out months ago. You want product. Mosaic, when it first came out at the start of the NFL season. It was the first shiny, great card you could get of a player, and it was the first time Mosaic was dropped as a full-on product, and it went crazy. And they made a lot of it. They really did make a lot of it. But you know what? People gobbled it up, too. And then everybody started poo-pooing on it because they're like, oh, it's not that great, quality control, blah, blah, blah. Panini's not in charge of quality control. The printers are in charge of quality control. And guess what? The printers, they don't care. There's not a guy from Panini at the print place saying, this card's scratched, remove it. This card's damaged, remove it. That is not, nope. We are in full bore. Print it, package it, ship it, don't care. That is where they are right now. Because it's money, 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 and Panini may end up making as much money as they can for the next year or two, and then selling to fanatics. Just selling Panini America, and they'll keep Panini, the regular Panini that's over there on the other side of the planet, basically. Italy or Europe. But let me know what you think. Am I pretty much right on with what I'm saying? It's the same stuff we've heard on a lot of other channels over time. It's just putting it in some type of clarification to understand, sometimes what people spit out as truth about how or something's being printed or done without any type of actually like looking into it or asking or detailing it. Panini used to print stuff in Texas. If you go right now on YouTube and type in baseball card manufacturing or printing, or even Panini printing cards, there's an actual old school video, and it's in the regular box because of how old it is, that shows them actually shooting cards out in a manufacturing sense. But like Dakota said, if you look on the back of all the cards, there's Japanese writing, and it says made in China. Now, I don't know if the whole card's made in China or printed in China. I believe it is now. And if that's the case, you know where the boats are. So there may be a giant boat right now of Panini Prism sitting off the coast of California that's, a couple months behind on getting unloaded. So, what are you going to do? I mean, personally, I'd drive the boat around the country like a lot of other people have done and just dock it here in Florida. That way we can get the product earlier. I think that would be very fair. We can do that, you know what I'm saying? But I just want to put a little video out. Just getting to work here. I'm going to jump out here and give her hell today. But appreciate it, guys. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, and I hope to have more stuff coming out very, very soon. Thanks.